And welcome back to Pokemon Team Videos. Today's Pokemon Team video, I think I messed up the name. I think it's Air something Sans, who asked the question, what is the Masks Pokemon team? Now this, I've talked about lately teams that are difficult to put together. Ghost Riders was difficult to put together. Luna Loud was a little difficult to put together. Can I think of a couple other ones real quick off the top of my head here? He-Man's wasn't that bad. Who else did I have here? Anyway. So, I say this because this is one of the... It's really hard to put together a team for an inanimate object because it has a personality. Like, the mask is kind of amplifies your personality as is, but that said, it's still the mask and it's still you. Like this team could vary whoever is wearing the mask itself. It's just an amplification of their own personality. That being said, the general personality still seems to kind of be there of the mask itself. So I went with that. But then I'm like, okay, what is the man? He's basically cartoons personified. He's a cartoon, living cartoon. And there's no Pokemon that basically bends reality in this sense. So I really had to, I had to dig deep a little bit. So right out the gate, here are two Pokemon that are on this team. And there's a reason for this. I put Gengar on the team, and I put his secondary form, or previous form, Haunter on the team. Now, why did I do this? Well, the mask, despite being, depending on your interpretation, be it the movie, the show, or the comics, is always very chaotic, wacky, liking to play jokes, be them lethal or otherwise. So I wanted Pokemon that kind of represented that. And Haunter and Gengar, particularly what I remember from the anime as a kid, were very much that. They were troublemakers. They liked to play pranks and scare people and all that. And I think that kind of works well. Plus, you get the ghost aspect of these guys, which means they can't really be hurt by physical moves, which kind of goes to the idea that the mask is not incapable of being hurt. The mask can just choose not to be hurt. He doesn't even have necessarily a healing factor. He can just be, that didn't happen, and we're good. As long as it's kind of deemed funny, he can bend the rules. And from that, I was able to kind of piece some things together. I wanted Pokemon that were kind of like the embodiments of mischief and chaos to some degree. So another one that made it on the team was Impidimp. Impidimp he's an imp. He's a little gremlin. He likes to play tricks and be like, ah! Like that's what Impidimp does. So that made sense for me to put on the team as well. After that, though, I'm like, okay, well, let me get to the more destructive sides of the mask out of the way as well. And I'm saving one for last because you're not going to see this one coming. But what are like destructive Pokemon that are almost embodiments of chaos? Like embodiments of destruction and just they don't care. They just do what they want. Hydreigon fit that mold pretty well. Like Hydreigon is, I can't remember. I think he's the Calamity Pokemon. Is that it? He just don't care. That's exactly what it is. He don't care. And Hydreigons are nasty to go up against. Dragon Dark is a very good typing because they pretty much negate almost everyone. Because Dragon negates pretty much any of the weaknesses that Dark has. Not negates it, but lessens it. Like fighting and bug types, for instance, don't work as well. The only thing they really have to worry about is still Ice, admittedly, but Fairy, which because he has a ×4 weakness to Fairy at that point. You think Fairy is invented strictly because of this guy? It's entirely possible. But yeah, so there's that. I also wanted a Pokemon that represented the idea that the mask just really couldn't be hurt. He wasn't able to. He could feel pain, sure, and he could be injured, but then again, he could just ignore the injury. Tyranitar is stated to basically not be able to feel anything. Like, in theory, he's not supposed to be able to be hurt. That's how tough a Tyranitar is. Add on the dark aspect, which allows it to be a bit more aggressive, or implies its more aggressive nature, and I think you get a Pokemon that works in that sense. Last but not least, the last Pokemon. And none of you are going to guess it. None of you are going to guess it. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds in this video. In fact, at the 5-minute mark, we'll go into it. But can you guess what it is? It's a Pokemon that I think best represents the cartoony nature of him in some aspect. All right, we're at the 5-minute mark. So I wanted a Pokemon that could basically be like rubber. We don't have a rubber Pokemon. Think about that. I was thinking on them, like, we don't really have any Pokemon that is actually based on rubber. We have a Pokemon based on a tire, which is Donphan. It's based on a elephant and a tire combined. There's no rubber bands. There's a balloon, sure, but Drifloon and Drifloon are based more on hot air balloons than actual like blow them up balloons. So yeah, there is no rubber Pokemon at this time, as far as I know. So I'm like, okay, what's the closest thing we have? And I thought on it, and I'm like, oh, come on, this would be perfect. Because one of the other aspects of the mask is that this team will look different no matter what I do. Because the mask is completely random. Seeing as can do whatever he wants, he in theory could just pull out whatever Pokemon he wants. I'm going to throw out all 18 versions of Arceus right now. Like, yeah, like he could just do that. But if we're talking about like the main team he normally carries with him, Iggly Buff. Iggly Buff is a Pokemon that is basically a rubber balloon. If it gets hit, it starts to build momentum and can't stop. That is in its lore. So Iggly Buff is actually the Pokemon that represents the cartoony, rubbery aspect that the mask could have. And knowing the mask, him having a random Iggly Buff on his team would actually make a lot of sense because he is just lol so random. So that is the Pokemon team I think for the mask. Is it my best work? Probably not. But is the best I felt I could do given the circumstances in this video? Yeah, this is the best I felt I could do at the time. So anyway, what would you do different with this team if you would do something different with this team? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Got box office to do later. And I'm probably going to pre-record later my Who Would Win for tomorrow. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.